Beloved ones, have you ever wondered why the most intelligent people often seem to suffer more than others? Why the sharpest minds, the most sensitive souls, are often the ones who feel the deepest pain? It appears almost paradoxical. Intelligence is usually praised. Society tells you that being smart is a blessing, a gift that will bring success, respect, and happiness. From childhood, you are taught to sharpen your mind, to think faster, to analyze better than others. But very few people speak about the hidden burden that comes with a sharp mind. When your mind becomes very sharp, it begins to see things that others simply cannot see. You start noticing contradictions in life. You begin to see the gap between what people say and what they actually live. While others are comfortably asleep inside these illusions, the intelligent mind becomes restless. A person with a dull mind can easily accept ready-made answers. Traditions tell him what to believe. Society tells him how to behave, and he simply follows. But the sharp mind cannot rest with borrowed knowledge. It wants to know. It wants to experience truth directly. And this search immediately creates a distance between you and the crowd. I have experienced this myself. From my early childhood, I was constantly questioning everything around me. Teachers, priests, traditions, scriptures, social rules. I was not trying to be rebellious. I was simply unable to accept something without understanding it deeply. My mind demanded clarity. Many people felt disturbed by this. They wanted obedience, not inquiry. They wanted belief, not investigation. And whenever a child asks too many questions, society becomes uncomfortable. The intelligent person slowly begins to feel like a stranger among people. Others seem satisfied with simple explanations. They follow routines without questioning them. They repeat what they have been taught, generation after generation. But the sharp mind cannot stop asking, why are people pretending to be happy when they are not? Why do so many relationships look loving on the surface but are filled with hidden misery? Why does society reward conformity and punish authenticity? When you start asking such questions, life becomes intense. You cannot simply distract yourself with superficial pleasures. You cannot easily escape into unconscious living. The more clearly you see, the more you realize how much of human life is built on fear and conditioning. You start seeing the masks people wear. You see the silent competition, the ego struggles, the constant need for approval. And suddenly the world does not look as simple as it once did. Others may call this intelligence, but for the one who sees deeply, it can feel like a heavy weight. You start realizing that many people are living mechanically, repeating patterns without awareness. Beloved ones, intelligence opens your eyes. But opening your eyes also means you can no longer pretend that darkness is light. This is why many intelligent people feel misunderstood, lonely, and sometimes even sad. They see too much, they think too much, and they feel too deeply. But remember, this suffering is not a mistake. It is the beginning of awakening. Beloved ones, the suffering of the sharp mind happens because intelligence is often trapped inside the mind itself. The mind is a beautiful instrument, one of the most powerful tools existence has given to human beings. It allows you to analyze, to understand patterns, to explore ideas, to discover truths. But the same instrument that can illuminate life can also become the source of deep suffering if it is used unconsciously. When intelligence remains only intellectual, it becomes a constant analyzer. It dissects everything. It questions everything. It doubts everything. and doubt has no end. The mind can create thousands of questions, but it rarely provides ultimate peace. One question leads to another, another leads to 10 more, and slowly the mind becomes a labyrinth. You enter deeper and deeper into thinking, but you never arrive anywhere. I have watched many highly intelligent people become prisoners of their own thoughts. Their minds are so active that even in moments when life is silent and beautiful, they cannot relax. They are constantly interpreting, judging, analyzing, even while sitting near the ocean. The mind is not seeing the ocean, it is thinking about the ocean. Even while listening to music, the mind is not simply listening, it is comparing, evaluating, remembering. This continuous activity of the mind creates a storm inside. The sharp mind begins to feel tired, overwhelmed, even lost, not because intelligence is wrong, but because intelligence alone cannot give fulfillment. Beloved ones, intelligence is only one dimension of your being. You are not just a mind, you are also awareness, consciousness, presence. The problem begins when you become identified with the mind. When you believe that you are your thoughts, your questions, your conclusions, but you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are just clouds passing in the sky of your consciousness. The moment intelligence turns inward and becomes awareness, suffering begins to dissolve. This is the real meaning of meditation. Meditation is not against intelligence. It is not asking you to become foolish or dull. Meditation is the transformation of intelligence. It shifts intelligence from thinking to witnessing. Instead of being lost in thoughts, you begin to observe them. Instead of fighting the mind, you simply watch it, and slowly something miraculous happens. The mind begins to slow down. The storm begins to settle. Thoughts still appear, but they no longer dominate you. They come and go like waves on the surface of a vast ocean, and you realize that behind all thinking, there is a silent presence. That presence is your true nature. When intelligence is combined with awareness, it becomes wisdom. Then your sharp mind is no longer a burden, it becomes a light. You start seeing life with clarity, but without heaviness. You understand things deeply, but you are not tortured by your understanding. Beloved ones, the sharpest minds suffer the most only when they remain trapped in endless thinking. But when intelligence is balanced with awareness, it becomes one of the greatest blessings. Then your intelligence does not isolate you from life. It connects you more deeply with existence. You begin to live more simply. You laugh more easily. You love more naturally. And finally you realize that the purpose of intelligence was never to control life or solve every mystery. The real purpose of intelligence was to awaken. And when awakening happens, suffering disappears like darkness disappears when the sun rises.